years. It's been affecting you, and everybody in this room. Now, I'm not talking about the flu, and I'm not talking about Ebola. I'm talking about the largest epidemic of all. I'm talking about bad bosses. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmaster members, and anyone who's ever worked. What makes someone a bad boss? Is it because they want control over every minute detail? Is it because they take credit for your work or show favoritism towards their friends? While all these are true, the number one reason for the bad boss is not what you think, but the cure is right at your fingertips. It was a warm July morning, and I was standing in the office of my boss, Miss Hart. I couldn't help but wonder, what could she want? Did I do something wrong? You wanted to see me, Miss Hart? Yes, Eric. We need to talk. It's time we made some changes around here. My heart raced, my body trembled. It's time that we promote you. Me? You want to promote me? Wow! After 3 years on the job, my dream finally came true. I was off to a career in management. Miss Hart was appropriately named. She gave me some words of wisdom when I parted that day. It's not about the work, Eric. It's about the people. Show them you care. She led from the heart. That day, I promised to care for people just like Miss Hart cared for me. I promised to listen and put myself in their shoes. I promised I'd be a good boss, which is why I was so surprised I turned out to be a bad boss. Being a boss wasn't easy. There was no manual to guide me through it, and if there is, I never received a copy. Did you? I was confused, overwhelmed, and a bit heartless. An employee who once asked me for help, I responded by saying, "Figure it out on your own. I don't get paid to do my work and yours." As that time went on, my focus changed. I realized that I was out of my comfort zone. I was no longer the best case processor in the office because all that good work that I did as an employee had nothing to do with being a boss. Because as a boss, I was no longer processing cases. And as time passed, my focus changed. I looked at work through a different lens. I talked past them. The only thing I cared about was meeting our company goals. And within 6 months, our relationship soured. Our morale sunk. Our performance slipped. The situation couldn't get any worse. Or so I thought. It was a cold January morning, and I was standing in the office of my new boss. She was no Miss Hart. I don't know if she was completely heartless, but let's just say she could bring a Marine drill sergeant to tears. Once again, my heart raced, my body trembled. I'll never forget what she said to me as she pointed in my face and said, "If you don't turn this place around, I'm going to find someone else who will." How would you feel if your boss did that to you? I was devastated. Like she ripped up my heart and threw it on the ground. Couldn't she understand what it was like to be in my shoes? Couldn't she care about the challenges I had to overcome? I bumped into my security guard, Lester. I could feel he saw something different in me. I looked at him, he looked at me, and he said, "What's up, man?" "Lester, my employees, they don't like me. They don't respect me. My boss is going to fire me. I don't know where I went wrong. They look at me as if I don't understand them, like as if I didn't even care." Well, man, sorry you're going through that. You know, when I was a cop back in the day, people in the neighborhood didn't like me either, man. But one day, I sent the little boy home, man, who I caught stealing, rather than send the little knucklehead to jail. And it showed them that I can understand the hardships of a little boy who was just trying to keep his family from starving. All my life, I was telling people I cared. Now I was showing it. Wow. Lester's words reminded me of my former boss, Miss Hart, and I thought, how many times did she care for me? How many times did she listen? What about my promise? I faced the harsh reality at that moment that my lack of caring made me a bad boss. But Lester's words, they inspired me to fulfill that promise. So I returned to work with a renewed passion and a different focus. Instead of focusing on the company goals, I focused on the goals of my people. Instead of focusing on my needs, I focused on their needs. I looked at work through their lens. And our relationship blossomed. Our morale boosted. Our performance bolstered. Wow! All I needed to do was show that I cared. By truly listening, not just with my ear, but with my heart. Not to show fear, but to lead from the heart. When was the last time you showed that you cared? When was the last time you told someone you cared? Nelson Mandela once said, the difference we make to the lives of others determines the significance of the life we lead. Miss Hart and Lester, they made a difference not by what they said, but what they did. That's the cure. Don't just tell people you care. Show them.